Matisse Thybulle is one of the best shot blockers in the game. Keep in mind, he mainly defends on the perimeter, so many of his blocks come against jump shots. We're going to break down what makes him an elite shot blocker. Through 9 games, Matisse is just outside of the top 10 in blocks per game. This is even more impressive when you consider that he comes off the bench and only plays 25 minutes per game. All the players ahead of him are all starters and are at least 4 inches taller than him. That just goes to show how skilled Matisse is as a shot blocker. Let's jump right in. First and foremost, whenever Matisse contests a shot, he's almost always going for the block. He rarely just tries to get a hand up. Statistically, it's simple math. The more shots you attempt to block, the higher number of blocks you'll get. But it's deeper than that. Psychologically, when players know someone's coming to block their shot, rather than just get a hand up, they're more likely to hesitate or make a mistake. On this play, Kemba knows Matisse is coming for a block. That causes him to hesitate and pass to avoid that, but he still gets blocked anyway. Even though Matisse didn't get the initial block, he still disrupted the play due to his shot blocking tendencies. It's important to note that while Matisse tries to block as many shots as possible, not all great defenders use that same method. An alternative defensive strategy to this is to get a hand in the face of the shooter. For comparison, here's some film of Shane Battier using this method on Kobe.
Find the game plan, the strategy, contesting every shot, not giving him a wide open look, fighting through a screen. You talk about when he goes up, you go up as a defender. Doing an outstanding job of not surrendering an inch. Shane Battier says, hey, I stay the course. It is impossible to play better defense without foul. Stays down until Bryant elevates, and then Shane Battier does the same.
So instead of contesting with a hand in the face, Matisse contests at the point of the release on the shot. Watch how he meets his man at the top to get the block. This also allows for him to get clean blocks without fouling, which is an important part of playing strong defense. Because Thybulle pursues the ball so well, he's capable of recovering to block shots at the release even when trailing or out of position after getting screened. For him, he's developed good muscle memory to get these blocks without fouling from a variety of different scenarios and body positions. Notice this time how explosive Thybulle has to be to meet KD at the top. If we freeze it here, you wouldn't know that Thybulle is about to jump explosively, but with relatively low knee flexion, he still gets off the ground quickly with enough force to block at the point of release. During closeouts, Thybulle uses his momentum to carry him by the defender instead of directly at him. This is so he doesn't foul the shooter in the air, but he still positions himself well enough to get a piece of the ball at the point of release. This is important because fouling a jump shooter, especially behind the three-point line, is one of the worst defensive mistakes you can make. The other technique Matisse uses to block jump shots is the swipe we see here. This one is more difficult to do without fouling, so let's see how he uses it. Thybulle uses this when he's recovering to his man, or if he's on his hip, or if coming over in help defense to contest the shot. On this play, Thybulle jumps with one arm straight up. This is to prevent a foul by avoiding contact with the shooter on their jump. It also gives time for the ball to become exposed. Once the ball is exposed, Thybulle swipes down on top of the ball, as opposed to the front or the side of the ball, in order to avoid fouling the shooter. Notice how Thybulle is able to use this technique consistently with great results for many different scenarios and positions. It takes a lot of practice and repetitions to do consistently at a high level. This concludes part 2 of our film study on Matisse Thybulle's lockdown defense. Now it's time for you to implement these details into your game. In the next video, we'll break down his incredible anticipation, which leads to a lot of steals. Thank you for watching. Grow abundantly.